Welcome to News from Quiet Places, the show that brings you stories from the corners of the world that too often go unheard. Each episode we travel across Asia, Africa and the Pacific to spotlight voices, events and moments that rarely make the front page, but matter just as much. I'm your host, Mikhailo, and together we will discover the news shaping lives far from the usual headlines, with clarity, respect and curiosity. Let's begin. Story 1. Developing nations push climate and debt demands at G20. Poorer and global south countries at the G20 summit in Johannesburg are strongly pushing for climate action and debt relief, arguing these are existential issues for their economies. Leaders from countries such as Ethiopia, Namibia and Malaysia emphasized fair financing, investment-driven debt relief and inclusion in global economic systems. Why it matters? For many in Africa and Asia, the G20 isn't just about big power politics. It's a platform to demand justice in climate and financial systems that have historically marginalized them. Story 2. COP30 wraps up with weak fossil fuel commitments. The COP30 climate summit ended with a compromise deal. While there is agreement to boost climate adaptation funding, the final agreement omitted any binding roadmap to phase out fossil fuels. The deal reaffirmed support for multilateralism and the Paris Agreement, but was criticized for lacking enforceable measures and for vague language on fossil fuel reduction. Why it matters? Many countries in Africa and Asia are deeply vulnerable to climate change, but also heavily depend on fossil fuels. This weak outcome raises questions about whether global climate diplomacy can truly deliver for those on the front lines. Story 3. COP30 fire incident rekindles tensions. During the final stretch of COP30, a fire broke out in the summit venue in Belém, Brazil, forcing an evacuation of delegates. The blaze reportedly started near a pavilion and caused smoke inhalation injuries, a dramatic moment that underscored the tension and fragility of the gathering. Why it matters? The incident is more than just a fire, it's a symbolic disruption at a summit meant to steer global climate policy. For many global south countries, it's yet another reminder that even in political negotiation, the physical and systemic risks are very real. Thank you for listening to news from Quiet Places. If you enjoyed today's journey through the overlooked and underreported, be sure to follow the show and share it with someone who loves discovering the world beyond the usual news cycle. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind and keep your eyes on the quiet places, because that's where the real stories often begin.